Hello everyone, Reggie Time here, and this is the first video of what's probably going to be like 3 months of updates regarding a challenge I set myself during the last video. Now, just to clear some of that up, in the last video I was just like randomly pulling numbers out of my ass of what I was hoping I might make and what my goals were going to be, and they were a bit over the top, to be honest with you. I hadn't given it any thought. I kind of just pulled the numbers out as we were going along, and it was unrealistic. I said I wanted to make like £2,500 at primarily 30NL on Sky over the next 3 months. I think that's definitely achievable if I put the hours in, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to put the hours in. So just to recap, I'm planning on taking the month of December off, giving up my 15-hour-a-week contract with the only company I'm currently contracted to, and then going back as a casual employee for them in January, and then just having like casual contracts with 2 employers, and then other bits of work I do for families at home when their children come to stay with us to give the parents some respite. With children with learning disabilities. So that's kind of how my work goes. I've got 2 companies that employ me and 3 different families. So I've got like lots of little eggs in little baskets, and poker's one of those. Poker's probably my equal biggest income of the 5, sorry. So that's kind of how my thingy breaks down. I've got the 15-hour contract and poker, which typically pay me the same amount of money each month. Then we've got the casual contract, which I'm hoping is going to kind of pay me something similar. The new casual contract I'm hoping to do soon as DBS is cleared. And then the family jobs that don't pay quite so much, but they top up my wage to give me like a pretty reasonable income. So anyway, that's what's happening. I'm going to take December off, which is going to cost me around £600 in lost earnings. So I need to make up that £600 basically in lost earnings, so I can just pay myself a wage in January. Now, typically I kind of aim to make around £400 from poker, and that allows me to meet my savings goals and the things. And if we make any more, I'll just save more money. But I kind of like bank on poker to pay me £400. The other, like the contractor paid me £600, giving me income away now, aren't I? The other casual contract will hopefully pay me around £400 to £600, and the other 3 jobs pay me around £300 or so per month. So I've got to like make up a month of like lost £600. And I could just go into my savings. I could just say it doesn't matter. I'll just pay myself out of my savings for the month of January, for the month of December. Pay myself in January for that, and I could just do that. And if that's what I have to do, that's what I'll just do. But what I'm hoping to do over the next 3 months is save an extra £600 in addition to what I usually save, so then it's not coming out of my actual savings when it comes to paying myself in January. So that's the goal. The goal is to make around £600 more during September, October, November, so I can just save that in addition to my savings and pay myself it in January. That means I'm probably going to want to make around £1,800, not £2,500, over the next 3 months, and that's what we're going to be hopefully charting over the next 3 months. We're going to just chart my play wherever it's at, probably mostly Sky, but wherever we go, we're going to chart the play, and we're going to see if we can make £1,800 in the 6 months. So yeah, wish me luck with that, and away we go. Please don't forget, by the way, to hit the like button if you like my content. Join the Facebook group if you're not somebody who just like goes out of the way to be a dick to strangers and like show off about how good you are at poker whilst belittling others. If you're not that, then stick to Reddit or 2+2 of it. If you're a good guy, especially a recreational player who wants to be part of a fun, friendly, hopefully helpful poker community, then join the Facebook group and get involved. So we're using this poker and replays again here. It's going to be a bit glitchy. We might have to refresh the hands now and again. I apologise for that, but it's the best way to do this kind of thing, given that we can't track our hands on Sky and just upload hands to Holder Manager or what have you. So let's get straight into it. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 hands to look at. Some of these hands will be the play themselves will be quite dull. We're not looking at these in terms of the hands were like really interesting or anything. Some of them are, but we're just chatting some of the bigger pots that have played. We didn't do this on Friday or Saturday because I didn't record the sessions. So this is like taken from yesterday's play and today's play, so it doesn't fully reflect my results so far for the month, but there's 7 hands to look at. Let's just ditch this down a minute while we get this speed to go up. We don't need it too slow, do we? So yeah, here we go. We've got ace queen here on the button. We're going to raise from a fish. We 3-bet to 240. Fish calls, we call. So we got in this pot with 2 fish. Unknown to us really. We don't know that much about them. We flopped really well. It's a 20NL hand. Flop top pair. Good kicker. Super dry board. With kind of SPR of 4 with this dude. SPR just over 2 with this one. We're not going to be going anywhere. SPR of 4. Top pair. Good kicker. It's just a matter of like, get the money in, hope our hand's best effectively at this point. Because like, what size do we want to choose here? The board is just so dry. Against 2 fish, it wouldn't bother me if we went anything from say £2.40 all the way up to say £5. Just a matter of just keep betting. Don't fold if we get raised, but if we do get raised, probably be aware that we might be fucked. So anyways, we bet 2. Fish number 1 calls. Fish number 2 raises. We just call because that jamming there. Yeah, we get stacks in against ace jack, I guess, and do okay against that. But there's not too many hands that are going to be able to call a jam there that are beating us. I mean, we lose to ace 10, we lose to ace 7, we lose to ace king, we lose to sets. 8, 9 maybe, but it seems unlikely. 8, 9 probably just calls given the price that we were laying. So we just call here, allow him to like whatever worse hands he does have that's raising here, allow him to like continue with the aggression on later streets. That was the plan. Of course the hand's crashed. Of course it's crashed. That's what Poker Hand Replays does. We should know that by now, shouldn't we? Let's get this back up to... Sorry, it's a bit messy this, but what can we do? Let's get to the turn. We check. He bets 1040 now. At this point, we're just going to have to commit to the hand. This guy's got us beat because he's stuck around, then he's got us beat. He goes all in. I hope we go all in over the top. We just call. Oh, never mind. C3 folds anyway. And we won. And our opponent, I didn't forget to put his whole cards in, sorry. He had King, Queen of Hearts. So, I mean, I can see what he's trying to achieve, but he's much better just calling that flop and maybe then just like jamming the turn over our c-bet or something. I don't know. Or maybe just calling again, depending on what size I make it. Now, this is what people sometimes do. When we make these small c-bets, against some players, not many, but against some players, it can induce some like raises from hands that don't really want to be raising very often. And that's what's happened here. That hand worked out pretty well for us. And let's move on to the next one. This is a 50NL hand. We have... Right, I'm going to pause this a minute. Right, we've done that now. Sorry, it'll be a bit jumpy there. What I just said won't make a ton of sense because I paused it while I was still fucking talking because I'm a dick. Anyways, here we are. 2 kings, 50NL. Limper in middle position. Decent regular, isolates on the button. Fish calls. We 3-bet to 750. Limper calls. Good reg folds. Fish calls. So okay, up to now we're happy with the whole situation. We were playing some 50NL just because it was a good table. I'm not going to be playing that much 50NL during this because I prefer just playing 20 and 30, staying in my comfort zone. It'll kind of allow me to achieve what I want to achieve. But if I do see a good table like this one, this guy was a confirmed fish. This guy didn't know much about him, but I know pretty much all the regulars on this site. So if I see somebody that isn't a regular that I know of, then I'm going to assume they're a fish until they prove otherwise, and then he limps under the gun, so we know he's limps middle position, so we know he's a fish. So we get a really, really good flop. We make a really big c-bet. No one's going to fold a pair here if they're both fish. Pocket 8s, pocket 7s, all these things, they're just not going to fold. So there's no good betting small. And well, I mean, we could bet small, but it's sort of one of those situations. We've squeezed 2 players and we're c-betting. We don't have any bluffs here. You know, our bluffs are going to be like ace, king diamonds, ace, queen diamonds, ace, jack diamonds, king, queen diamonds. We're not going to have air. If I had like ace, king offsuit here, I do not c-bet this board into 2 fish because I just know they don't fold pairs. So if I'm not going to have much of a bluffing range and I'm against fish, I'm not going to go with that small c-bet size on a board where we can get tons and tons of action from worse hands. So we went with the big size. Our friend min raised us. We joyfully pumped the money in. He calls. And he had the 4 deuce suited. We limp called that 15 big blind 3-bet with the 4 deuce, and sadly we didn't get there. I mean, obviously you're delighted to be in pots with these guys, you're delighted to be at the same table with them, but when you're playing like the top of your range in terms of the stakes you're playing at, it's a bit of a pisser when you run bad. You know, when, I mean, this happens at 20-0, I'm like, oh, whatever, who gives a shit, you know, but when, you know, we lose a £109 pot to a fish, it stung a bit, can't lie. Obviously, we took it like a man. We congratulated him on the hand, etc. But yeah, you don't need it when you're playing higher stakes than you usually play. You kind of you could do with that when you're overpairs hold'em, really, couldn't you? But they didn't, and you know that's it. That's why they call it gambling, isn't it? Next hand is another 50NL table. We have 2 jacks. C8 here is going to be the main villain. Here's a fish. He raises. We obviously 3-bet with the jacks. Super standard spot. We're going to call with a lot worse hands. And we already give the game away here. We call. And I'm right. He is going to call with a lot worse hands. But when he 4-bets, his range narrows significantly down to like aces, kings, maybe queens. Maybe sometimes ace-king, but not always. And sometimes these guys just fucking pile ace-king. They call with it. They have like a mixed, I don't want to call it a strategy, but I didn't know enough about him, but fish will either, you know, they'll do all kinds of things with ace-king. You can't guarantee they're always going to 4-bet to this size. Whereas a regular would do. I think a fish is less likely to use his sizing when they 4-bet with ace-king. I think a lot of the time they're just going to 4-bet fucking massively, just like mash pot or mash all in. Or they'll just call. So I was a little bit leery about this. But at the same time, I'm not that into 3-bet folding pocket jacks to fish, so we didn't. Of course, the hand needs reloading. So we're going to go on to the flop here now. Our opponent bets 14 quid. Leaving only 14 behind, so it's looking like he's clearly committed here. It looks a lot like he's got like pocket aces, pocket kings, pocket queens. But if he's dreadful and he has ace king, it's that we're making a pretty big mistake here with jacks. I don't like it. I didn't like it at the time. I still don't like it now. But I just not that into folding over pairs in 3-bet pots. If he's got the cue for 2 jacks here, he's got the cue for 2 jacks. Once we decide to 3-bet and not fold it, then folding on this flop would be fucking insane. And given that he's committed, I was kind of thinking, do we just call here, then just call any turn? I was thinking maybe he shuts down with ace king. If we do just call here, maybe he just checks ace king and folds it, and only ever continues betting turns when he's got jacks beat. So I decided, well, if he has got ace king, he's committed himself. So I went with the jam. Our opponent called. He showed us the bad news. And we're getting it in pretty fucking rough here, because we don't even have like backdoor hearts. But fortunately, we do spike the jack on the river, and that's kind of one back for the good guys. Played that hand, in my opinion, badly. At best, at best it was moderate. At worst, it's bad. I didn't know the guy. Maybe he just has 2 10s there and does the same thing. I don't know. If you can put 10s and ace king in his range, then I guess, yeah, it's fine. But it's not as likely as aces and kings, is it? Let's be honest. So I'm not sure about that one. I don't think it's terrible, but I don't think it's by any stretch good. Next hand. This, I opened a table of 50NL, and this guy sat. It's an orange tag player, which is my tag for like regular that either I don't know much about or I don't think it's very good. And this was one I didn't know much about rather than one that I didn't think was much good. Anyways, we min raise the kings. He calls. Get a safe flop. Checks. We just bet small. He raises us to 4. And we just call. There's no reason to like do anything else here. Guess we could 3-bet for value from like Jack X, Jack 10, Jack Queen, who just can't check raise fold this board. Charge draws as well, but we have the King of Diamonds, so it's like reduces some of his draws. But I'm pretty much, when I get raised, I usually want for just like calling and going into trap mode a lot of the time, which is what I did here. Deuce of clubs on the turn, completely safe card. Just call again, allow him to continue with his like value bets with his Jack X, continue with his bluffs, etc. The 4, total break. He bets all in. Now, given I'd rather call here without the King of Diamonds. I'd rather like have King of Spades, it's King of Hearts, King of Clubs or whatever. Because it does reduce some of the, he can't have King Queen of Diamonds, for example. He can't have King Jack of Diamonds. He can't have King 10 of Diamonds. So it does take some of the missed flush draws he could have that play this way. I don't think he takes this line with a Jack. I don't think Jack overbets his value. Maybe Ace Jack, but again, what's he going to get called by? King Jack, Queen Jack. Not many hands can call this. I mean, I don't think he has Jack Queens or Aces very often because he surely 3-bets them pre-flop. Anyway, we just can't go folding over pairs in this spot, I don't think anyway, so I ended up making the call. And he showed us the pocket fours for quads, which it's one of those things, I think. I don't think I've done anything wrong there. I don't think he's done anything wrong. It's just one of those hands where he had the cue for 2 kings. I guess calling like almost 2x pot on the river is a bit questionable maybe, but in this exact spot with this exact hand, I don't think we can do anything else but call. And I guess 5-3 gets there too, but whatever. I don't think it's dreadful by any stretch. It's annoying because it's like the second big pot we've now lost at 50 now. We've lost 2 now, won 1. And as I was saying, when you're playing your higher stakes, like the top of your range of stakes, you kind of want to run good when you're doing that. And we didn't so far, so such is life. Next hand we have the Jack 9, same player. This was not very long after. Min raise, call, flop trip 9s, which is nice. A better pound. He raises to 4. We just call like we did last time. It's exactly the same line he took so far with the pocket 4s. Doesn't necessarily mean that he has a set again, of course. That's a ridiculous assertion. He can have some 9x, he can have some draws maybe, some air. Who knows? But obviously with our Jack 9 we're going absolutely nowhere with our trips. It's kind of again just look to like allow him to continue bluffing. If he is bluffing, allow him to continue maybe value betting worse hands, although I can't think of too many that he can have here. 9-7, 9-6 maybe, 9-5 suited. Maybe he hasn't a 3-bet hand like pocket 10s. Maybe he's just like doing it with ace 8 to try and protect or whatever. So we just call. Turn to 4 of hearts, which isn't ideal because it does bring in the flush draw. If he was raising with the flush draw, he only bets 7. It's super easy call again. River is an offsuit 5. He bets 15. Not that much has got there, to be fair. The flush has got there from the flop. He can still have some of those worst 9s, but now 9-5 is a full house. But he still have 9-6, 9-7. Don't think he takes this line with an 8. But again, I just think we're too far up in our range to fold. I didn't like it. But again, I think our hand's just way too strong to fold. I think raising would be insane. So we just call and just hope he's got like a Jack 10, a Jack Queen. Worst 9 sometimes maybe. We did call. And unfortunately for us, he had the Queen 7. And it was another chunky loss in the 50NL column. So 50NL did not go too well for us yesterday. I think overall at 50NL I lost maybe 75-80 quid, which was annoying, but whatever. I mean, the losses and wins are going to be bigger when you play higher. It's just one of those things. I chose to play the games, didn't run well in them. What can you do? These are 2 hands from this morning. The last 2 hands we're going to be looking at. We have the Ace Queen under the gun. We raised to 60 at a 20NL table. We get a call and a very small squeeze. And I misclicked here. I was like scrolling the raised wheel up, and for some reason I stopped at 2 and pressed the button, and I don't know why, because that clearly wouldn't be my size. Usually we'd be looking at like either calling here or popping this up to at least 340, but we made it 2. What we're going to do? It certainly wasn't the size that I chose. It was just scroll not focused or whatever. Something happened and it wasn't focused, and I chose a shit size. Anyway, our opponent calls, flop top pair, just he donks, no reason to raise. He bets just 20 pence on the turn now, so I'm very confident that our ace queen is good. I have absolutely no clue what he does that takes this line. What takes this line that he has. I mean, he's bet 250 on the flop, which is a reasonable size bet. He's min bet the turn. Looks weak to me, but we're just hoping he calls, hoping he's got like a king queen, king 10, ace jack type hand, who knows what. But at this point we've got like just over a pot size bet left. Well, pot on a bit. Not sure why his stack. I thought his stack size was smaller than that, but whatever. Anyways, we just jam it all in. Our opponent calls us. He shows us a king jack of diamonds, which is pretty sweet, and he doesn't get there. So I mean, we'll take that one. I have no idea what the fuck he was playing at. His line doesn't make much sense post-flop. Pre-flop, I don't mind the squeeze with king jack of diamonds. Obviously his sizing is dreadful. Our 4-bet sizing's just as fucking bad, so he can't fold. So pre-flop I'm not always sure what he did apart from his 3-bet sizing. His flop donk bet, don't like that much at all. He probably just plays quite nice as a check call. And then his min bet call it off on the turn. He's obviously just huge spew and allowed us to drag a reasonable pot. On to the last hand of the video. We isolate a limper at 30 and L and get everyone calling. We flop top 2 pair. This guy, I had him tagged as a fish, didn't know him, he was completely unknown to me, but he just started with like 50 blinds, so he's clearly not a winning player. This guy's a player that plays all the time. He's a pretty big loose passive fish. And this player is just like a really bad, one of the worst fish in the games for sure. So anyway, we get dunked into for just about full pot. Our decision here is going to be when it gets to us. Do we call or do we raise now? I'm very confident I have the best hand. If we're up against the cooler with like pocket 7s, then tough shit, we lose our money anyway. We could want to raise here just to like deny equity to this guy if he does have anything like a flush draw or like a gut shot or something like that, I guess, that he might come along with. But again, I don't mind if he comes in with them, and if he calls and the turn's a club, then we don't have to necessarily play for the rest of his stack. I mean, we're committed against this guy no matter what the turn is. But if just said the river's like the turn's a queen of clubs and he bets or he goes all in, we call and he rejams, then I think we can probably fold our hand. Not too much of an issue. So I'm just happy to like keep this guy in with whatever he's donking with. If this guy calls, then we proceed with caution on turns. If he folds, then great, we just get to like play for the rest of his stack here. So we do call. He calls 2. Not a great turn card because Jack 10 does get there. I think this guy's more likely to have Jack 10 than this guy. He checks, he bets, and I think we should just call here. I know what I did, I went all in, but I think we should just call and allow this guy to continue coming along and just hope that the 10 or the Jack doesn't come on the river. He doesn't have like pocket queens or anything like that. He almost certainly 3-bets them. So he's still, I think, if we beat, he's most likely his hand is going to be back pocket 7s. So I think I should just call here, probably, and allow this guy to continue like calling and drawing and just putting more money in the pot. But I didn't. I elected to jam, I think. This guy gets out of the way, and sadly for us, this guy just like donked his gut shot multi-way and binked it on the turn and dragged down like a reasonable sized pot again. And I'm quite annoyed. That's another 100 big blind pot that we had way the best of it in when most of the money went in, and I didn't win. So it's been a bit of a excuse me, bit of a salty start to the month. I got to a good start. Friday, Saturday was up £80 odd in in my first 2 or 3 sessions. Then we had the Sunday afternoon session, which was pretty bad. We had a Sunday evening session, which was kind of lost a little bit. We've won a bit back this morning. We played 12 hours in the month so far, and we're up a fucking £1. We made £1. It was like 8 pence an hour. That's me hourly. We're going to need to improve that if we want to try and make our extra. We want to make our 1,800 quid in 3 months. But it's early days, of course, and I'm still very confident I'm going to achieve it. Probably avoid the 15L streets a little bit maybe, and just concentrate on the 20 and 30. If I get the hours in, I'll do it. You know, if I end up playing 250 hours, there's no reason why I won't make £1,800. My hourly on Sky is typically at playing 20 and 30 around £8-9 an hour, sometimes 10. You know, somewhere in that region. I haven't been tracking my results long enough on Sky to know exactly what it is at those stakes exclusively, because we've had PLO mixed in, and I've not always been the most dedicated tracker of my results. I just tend to play, or I used to just tend to play cash out, play cash out, play cash out, and not really check my hourly. But it seems like since June when I've been checking my hourly, my hourly over like 250 odd hours is come down at about just under £10. But that's including PLO, so I don't really know. I wouldn't, if it was £8.50 or if it's £11, I wouldn't argue. It could be either of those things. We'll get a better idea of the next 3 months if we stay away from the PLO streets, stay away from the 15L streets. Hopefully by the end of that I'll have a better idea of what my hourly rate is in these games. I suspect it falls between 8 and 10. So yeah, there we go. That's the first update. There's going to be regular videos like this, either of my Sky play. There's not going to be too many live videos because it's just a pain in the ass. There's lots of videos like this. If I play on Triple 8 or somewhere else, then we'll be using Hold'em Manager hand replay to review hands, and maybe if we play on Triple 8, the occasional live play video. But yeah, that's the first one of hopefully many. We are now just £1,799 away from achieving our goal, so we've got a long way to go. But you know, I think we're going to get there, and if we don't, well, we don't, do we? You know, that's life. Take care, everybody. Have a good few days, and we'll be back soon with another one, something like this. Bye bye for now.